what's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Cervantes Podcast. Happy Black History Month. Joining me today to review and discuss Super Bowl 57, Rihanna's halftime show, and the importance of women in sports, media, and communications is NFL Films production assistant and Delaware State University alumna with a bachelor's degree in mass communication with double concentration in digital media and public relations and marketing, Mia Pope, and Hofstra University alumna with a bachelor's degree in public relations and account executive at WUSA-TV in Washington, D.C., and proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Taylor Riller. How are you guys doing today?
Good. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm good. Thank you guys for being here. You guys should remember Taylor from episode 8, All Things College, back in May 2021. So the first question I had for you guys, can you ladies share a little bit about your current job and where you wish to go next with your career in sports?
Yeah, so funny to have this Miss NFL background. But I do not work for the NFL yet. I am currently at WSA 9, CBS affiliate in Washington, D.C., and I'm an account executive. And so I am on the more business side of the television station because some people think, are you in front of the camera? Are you? No, even though content is my first love, I'm actually on the money side, which is fun. And so transitioning over to my love for sports and why I have like the Miss NFL brand, it'll always be a passion of mine. So I'm always going to keep it around. But right now, I'm
Awesome.
bringing in the big bucks.
So my current job is a production assistant at NFL Films here in New Jersey. Currently, I guess I could talk about my job. We just again assist with different productions and things. I was hired to work for their team that shot HBO Hard Knocks in season, covering the Cardinals this season. Obviously, they did not have a very good season, but we tried to make the show as engaging as possible. And then now we're working on, cutting various things for the Super Bowl, and during off season, who knows what we could possibly be working on. But that's what I do as a production assistant. Hopefully, I don't know. Right now, getting this job was pretty much something of like a big, like, surprising factor to me, especially coming directly out of college. So I think I'm going to stick with it for another year or so, just to continue to get my feet wet and continue to get some producer credits behind my back before I start going down different avenues in production.
That's
So
so
yeah.
cool. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, comment down below if you're also a woman in sports and a black woman in sports too. It's so cool to see. All right, so last week, Sunday, February 12th, the Kansas City Chiefs and quarterback Patrick Mahomes took home the Vince Lombardi Trophy with a score of 38-35 against the Philadelphia Eagles. Mahomes is now a two-time Super Bowl champ, two-time Super Bowl MVP, and two-time first-team All-Pro. While Mahomes, Isaiah Pacheco, and Juju Smith-Schuster all did a great job, we also have to acknowledge Jalen Hurts of the Philadelphia Eagles' performance. Hurts broke the Super Bowl rushing record for a QB, became the first QB to rush for 3 touchdowns, and first to throw for a touchdown and run for 2 or more. What did you ladies think of the game, and which team were you guys rooting for?
I thought it was a great game. uh, Even though I was rooting for the Eagles, obviously being here in New Jersey and living in Delaware, those were the teams I had around me. So, 'cause Delaware does not have really any sports teams and like major sports teams. So the Eagles were the next best thing. And so obviously rooting for the Eagles. They didn't make the cut this season, but stay tuned for next season. Definitely, for sure. I definitely have confidence in them for next season, especially with, Jalen on our side. He's a very great quarterback. But I wasn't expecting the results. But I thought it was a really, really, really good game. And it was a nail biter by the time the second half came back and we saw Patrick Mahomes get out there. It was like, what's going to happen? So
Did not see
that's
that coming for sure. And what about you, Taylor?
As a Giants fan, my supporters got really upset at me because during the NFC championship, I like posted a reel, and I was like, oh, when you're like secretly supporting the Eagles, because at that point I was like, my team is at home. They demolished us twice during the season. But I was like, I don't really want them to win the Super Bowl. You know, like this is a little bit too much. Like, I'm proud of y'all, I'm happy for y'all. So I was rooting for the Chiefs deep down. But if the Eagles would have won, I would have been happy. And I know my cousin is gonna get me because she's probably like, "Girl, I thought you was riding with us." But the game itself was a good game. I thought it was gonna be a close game regardless. And one thing that annoyed me during the game though was some of the calls from the refs. Everybody's talking about the last call. I know we
Where
jumping a
he
little
had the
bit, but
ball, when he had the ball and he was like, whether it's out of bounds or not, that one.
the
Not that
holding
one.
call with James Bradbury, the holding call.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even on that one. I cannot remember. I was so like hyped up that I don't remember who the receiver was, but I'm just gonna guess it was Devontae Smith. But I can't remember when they were trying to figure out whether or not he actually caught and controlled the ball.
It was Devontae Smith, yes.
Okay, because I was
Because
like, I
it's
was so
always him. It's always him, unfortunately. By
right.
the time they go back, I'm like, I already know. I'm like, please just keep the grip, keep the ball in the grip, please.
Because that ball ended up being a pick six, like from a recovery. And I was like, yeah, there we go. We have a ball game because the Eagles dominated the first half. So I was like, hold on. And then they ran it back and it was like, nah, he didn't have control of the ball, incomplete. I said, now
Because he
y'all know.
wasn't
So
like
I
this, right? Because he didn't cradle it.
in a sense, and then like the ball was wobbly though, like when they ran it back. So he technically didn't have control of the ball. But I felt like they cheated Kansas City out of 7 points for that one. So I was a little salty, and I was like, but see, the Twitter streets was like, no, incomplete. Y'all be all right. Like,
Yeah, Twitter went crazy. I was like
Twitter was
refreshing. I was like, oh my God,
Twitter was
that's so
going
crazy.
crazy.
What were your thoughts, Nia?
I just with this game, I don't know what thoughts to have. Obviously, I think both teams did phenomenal this season, and deep down, I was praying that it was Mahomes because I want to prove to everybody that our QB is on that level because he is, and he's worked really hard for it. And you got to think, if I'm telling y'all, he's been in this game for years and he's only 24.
Yep.
Like, Patrick Mahomes is 27, wife, kids, all that other type of stuff. Like, no, this is a different type of, man. And this again circles back, I guess, to this podcast because this is a man that believes in surrounding himself with women of color on his team and nothing but women of color on his team. And nothing but women on his team. Actually, all his communications, like his agent, everybody that handles all his everything, they're women. So, that really just shows a lot to how he's been able to transform himself even between this year and last year.
Yeah.
It's so
and
beautiful.
He carried offensively. During that game, he carried the Eagles.
3 touchdowns?
Yes.
4.
4.
Carried. So I even though I said in the beginning, like I was rooting for Chiefs, I would not have been mad if because the Eagles deserve that, and they deserve that because of Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, for sure. And the way how like Tom Brady's seen as like the GOAT, I hope that like Jalen surpasses him and becomes like our GOAT. Because I feel like black people, we've dominated like every sport. So I hope he becomes like our Tom Brady. That'd be so cool to see. This Super Bowl was historic on multiple levels. It was the first time that two brothers played against each other, Jason and Travis Kelce, on opposing teams in the 57 years since the Super Bowl began. It was also the first time two black starting quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. However, despite this amazing black history, according to a September 2022 article from the Washington Post by writer Fred Bowen, about 60% of the players in the NFL are African American. Only 3 of the current 32 head coaches, 9%, are African American. While the number of black quarterbacks has grown, diversity hasn't spread to the rest of the league. There has never been a black NFL team owner Since 2011, only 15 Black coaches have been hired out of 87 vacancies. What are your thoughts on this, and how do you think the NFL could solve this issue? I'll start with Taylor.
What can I say that, I'm trying to still work for the NFL. No, but having an honest conversation, that's putting people in position where the players feel represented and they can see themselves. And I think the mentality has been they're just playing out on the field, so they don't connect or they don't see the front office that much, and that's just not the truth. And that is why Jalen Hurts has a all women team and Black women on his team at that, because at the end of the day, not only has he been able to create, I don't want to say a safety net, because maybe that's not what he was thinking, but from the outside looking in, like, there are people who see him, not Jalen Hurts, star quarterback, right? They see him, they see his family, they see the amount of work that he's put in as a person and as a player to get to where he is. So I connect that to the NFL. I think that with those stats being those stats, as far as the percentages of Black men that are currently in the NFL, those aren't the same stats as far as front offices and ownership. And that has to change. And that's not because we can get into a lot of things as to why, the roots of that, but it's 2023. How many years are we going to go saying, oh, well, Black people don't have the generational wealth or the education? There are Black people graduating every day, or, at least twice a year, right? I don't know. I'm just really passionate about that. And I think that if you look at the organizations that have Black leadership, regardless of if they're winning or not, take a look at how they're connecting with their fans. In certain areas, like I live in DC, I don't live in DC, I live in Maryland, but FedEx Field is right down the street from me. And when I look at going to the games, I see who's packing the stadiums. I see people like me who are at the tailgates, who are supporting the team, who are buying the gear. And I think at the end of the day, the NFL just has to catch up. That's just bottom line. Like, you can't sugarcoat it. Either you're going to create the opportunity or you're not. But when more than half of your players are Black men,
why can't the coach leadership represent that? Ownership
right,
is another conversation, but
right.
I would like to see more Black coaches for sure. What about you, Nia? What were your thoughts?
I was gonna say ownership is like going down the tree. I would say, just based off of my own research and even just watching some of the things that my job produces, a lot of ownership is, family owned. That's lineage. That's a lot of, kind of keeping things within the family. That's a lot of, we're having kids in order to own, you're going to be the owner of this before you're even able to understand what owner even is. And so with that, it is kind of hard. In other senses, it does have a lot to do. I do really agree with what you guys are talking about in regards to the coaching staff. I feel like they're trying to get some more Black coaches on there. I don't know if you saw who the Texans just hired. Can't remember his name. The bald Black guy, that I think was he on the Jags? I can't remember which team he was on. Okay. Regardless, they had just hired him as their head coach. So it's a thing to really see, like, how are they moving these people up in these individual teams? How are they moving up from, okay, you're doing things like she's doing, like handling funds, like how are we moving up interns and paying them past the pot of, you guys are an intern, to actually produce things for these companies? And I feel like that's really is where it is starting, hiring more people that start at lower levels, but actually paying them what they deserve. Because a lot of kids, like, I look at ESPN and everything on these graphics, and the first thing in my head I can think of is, man, that probably was an intern that did that. And that intern is probably only getting paid like $12, $13 an hour. and they're making graphics and stuff that are going on TV every single day.
On
and those
national
are
television.
Yep.
Exactly. And those are the type of people that you need to continue to move up into those positions, because they're going to represent what is being seen now. Front office is representing the company. You might not see them, but without them, how are these celebrities and these football players and stuff getting paid? So it's really important for a lot of these teams to directly go into the community and pull out people. Like, again, I know the Eagles has an inclusion, diversity and inclusion program. I had did that a couple of years ago, which was great because I got to sit with front office executives that did not look like me. The whole team did not look like me. And basically they're asking us, what do we think they could do? And I've actually seen people move up from that program into actual positions, like entry-level, mid-level positions, just based upon, you know, talking to this company and saying, like, you need to change what's behind the players as well as, you know, the actual players.
Right, that's what it's all about. And I think I always talk about representation every episode, and it's true. And I think we see the representation in front of the screen, like, you know, Jalen and Patrick, Black Women Halftime Show, Rihanna, Cheryl Lee Ralph, and Babyface performing. So it's like we see, okay, all these nice Black faces, but let's also have like the ownership, the coaches, like you said, from the bottom up too as well. And then the people of color that you do have, let's pay them a decent salary, like more than minimum wage or raise the minimum wage. So I think that's definitely important as well. And what's, like we've been saying all episode, what's really beautiful to see is that Jalen Hurts has made history with an all-women management team. Nicole Lynn made history as the first Black woman agent to represent an NFL quarterback in the Super Bowl, representing Hurts. Hurts said, "I have a team of straight hustlers. They get things done." He said in a Sports Illustrated review in 2022, and that's how I am on the field and off the field. We're all trying to accomplish something. As women in sports media and communications, what does it mean to you, ladies? And Nicole's also a Delta, so what does that mean to you, Taylor?
I know I'm being extra, but I just love me some Nicole Lynn. Okay, so there are three people that led me to this sports journey rabbit hole: Nicole Lynn, Jalen Hurts, and Kelsey Nicole Nelson. She's a local like DMV reporter. The three of them like kind of led me on this journey of wanting to be a woman in sports. And that was before I was obsessed with Nicole because she was a Delta, and I was like in high school. So then when I actually became a Delta, I was like, that's my sword. But no, you're able to see yourself. You're able to see the possibilities of where you can go. And it means a lot because it's proof that your dreams are not crazy. Your dreams are not unachievable. And at the end of the day, you have that feel behind you to keep going, because you have to remember the history that she's making, being the first Black woman and Black woman to represent an NFL quarterback in the Super Bowl. There are obstacles that she had to go through, plenty, to get to where she is. So that's fuel for you when you're sitting back and you're trying to get there. You might be trying just to become an agent. You might be trying to get through law school. You might be trying to get your first internship. And you see women like that, you're like, all right, how can I, if something's not working, how can I reapproach this? Right? I got to get through this obstacle because I have my goal. And if she can do it, I can do it. So I'm gonna stop talking before I go on a rant. But that's
no, exactly. It's so, and these people are also so young. So like that's also really nice to see happening during Black History Month. We love it. So it's important. We definitely need more women in sports and more Black women in sports.
But there was a point in time where they were adding women onto shows to be the woman, to be the girl, and it's not like that anymore. And then not only are Black women coming with the stats, coming with game analysis, they're coming with the trends, they're coming with the looks, and they're gonna eat it up every time.
This just, I don't know. It just, it just means that I think for me at least, there wasn't a better time to embrace it than now. I feel like if anybody is looking for their, oh, I'm gonna do it next week. I'm gonna like just do it tomorrow. Just do it, like just pick it up and write about whatever you want to write about now, because you gotta use the mic when you have it. If they're listening to us and they're looking at us, that is what you have to do. I hear her talk about how she's been following people since she was young in regards to sports and things. And, we're in a time of social media. Mm-hmm. Like, use the social media you have, comment under pictures, like really market and brand yourself. I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned from high school through college that I feel like has gotten me in this position. And I feel like honestly even got me the connection with you, got me on the podcast. I mean, just making sure that I'm marketing myself the right way on LinkedIn so that, when opportunities arise or people are looking for people to search for in the area, they know I'm open. Mm-hmm. Because I'm marketing myself as I'm a Black woman, and not only am not only am I a Black woman, I'm a Black woman that can do sports, entertainment. I can be in front of the camera. I could be behind the camera. Like, I have that public relations degree. I could write a good contract. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm certified and everything. Like, I'm making sure I'm coming with everything. And then on top of that, we're coming with the paper. We're coming with the degree. You guys told us we couldn't be educated, so we got educated. And now you guys don't have any choice but to hire us, because guess what? Just like Nicole Lynn and Jalen Hurts, all she needed was that person. All she needed was that person to really say, you know what? I trust you. And that's really all it is. You know what I'm saying? Marketing yourself. Yep. And making sure that you reach out and you step through doors that God is opening for you. That pretty much. Right. It's I don't know. It's for me, it's like, it can't get any more simple, because your time is not your time until your time.
That is let me just say a praise break.
So like,
yes, that's so true. You gotta, and hopefully when people, get these dope opportunities, leave the door open for the next Black person, the next Black woman to come after you, and stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And people always ask me like, Cervantes, how do you get all these guests? Like, are these your friends? I'm like, no, honestly, I just slide in people's DMs and email people. Like, I feel like most people are willing to talk and have conversations, so it's very easy to reach out. Instagram, email, LinkedIn. So I totally agree with what you said. Were you gonna add anything, Taylor?
Yeah, and that is the reason why I created Miss NFL. And at first, because so that was high school, right? So I was like 2018, 2019. And that was even before Jalen was drafted. And that's the thing. Let me just go back to Jalen real quick. People don't give this man the credit for the work he has put in. Like, put some respect on his name. Okay, let me get back. So, but in 2020, pandemic came, right? That was my sophomore. I mean, not sophomore year. Technically, it was, but it was my. At the time, I thought, okay, wait, I'm rambling. I graduated in 3 years, so I kind of now get confused because I got used to saying that. So it was my freshman year, second semester. 2020 hits, pandemic, no internships. I was like already NFLPA, NFL. Like, I had this all in my mind. Mind you, I'm still a freshman, right? But I'm like, I need to get out there. No internships. I'm like, what? Sophomore year, that's around the time where you really start, people will, take your interview. I'm like, what? So I needed to come up with something, and my friends kept calling me Miss NFL. Like, people were calling me this in real life because I was so crazy about football and the Giants. I'm like, okay, wait a minute, let me play on this. And I just took my love for creating content, my love for football, put it together, and Miss NFL created this brand. And at first, it was so that I can have something to put on my resume, have something to show people when I interview, right? And I did it for a season full out, and the people always get mad at me because I kind of wavered off. But she was never supposed to be a video girl, right? Like, I could get in front of the camera. Everybody asks, like, are you going to be a sports reporter? Blah, blah. I don't know yet, y'all. God is still writing the story. But now what I'm getting at is Miss NFL has evolved into a brand that other women can tap into. Like, this isn't just about me. This is about all the other Black girls who are trying to make it. And so I can't spill too much. I'm trying to, figure things out and make sure that they're getting the opportunity. But as I kept going, right, as Nia was saying, creating that brand for yourself, putting yourself out there, you'll formulate what works for you and you'll find out what you're passionate about. I don't want to go on a ramble, but I really think, like what you said, Cervantes, too, about making sure that the door is open. Like, Miss NFL got me my first internship. And even though it wasn't NFL or football related, it was my first internship and I needed that internship. So spreading the knowledge, even if someone has to create a brand for themselves, a name or a series, like I saw today, a young lady created a podcast series for women in sports. Like, do what you have to do so that you can set yourself up in a position where even if you say, like me, I was a little open-minded. Because Cervantes, I know I was talking about working for the NFL after graduation, but I needed a job and I left myself open-minded. But even if someone cracks down and says, I'm not taking a job unless it's NFL, there's a certain amount of devotion, commitment, passion that you have to keep going every day. But if people don't hear people like us saying this in this moment, they won't seize that opportunity.
Exactly. And it's okay to do other things that are in relation to your goal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my dream is to work in entertainment and television. And in the meantime, I'm working in television, but for a horse racing company. Mm-hmm. So it's still entertainment. Is it NBC? Is it SNL? No, but I'm still doing what's in relation to what I actually want to do. So I think it's okay. Like, you may not be at the NFL, but what can you do in the meantime that can give you transferable skills so that when you do have that interview and like, hey, what have you done this past year or since you graduated? I've done this, and that, and I'm capable and qualified to do this NFL job. So like, you're ready. So I think that's another thing too. Like, people don't get discouraged that you're not in your dream job yet or your dream career, especially if you just graduated. And if you're 22, like us, 22, 21, 23, you went to school during a pandemic, which changed everything. So you have to give yourself a little bit of grace and credit, like no one could have predicted that. So that's a good point. That's a very good point. Switching gears to the halftime show, performing a medley of her hits such as Only Girl in the World, Rude Boy, and Ending with Diamonds, singer and businesswoman Rihanna had everyone talking with her halftime show with 118.7 million viewers, which is more than the actual game. She confirmed that she is pregnant with her second child with rapper A$AP Rocky. People on social media had mixed reviews on her performance, some saying she did a great job since she couldn't do much since she is pregnant, while some saying she didn't do enough and were surprised she had no guests. What were you guys' thoughts on the performance? I'll start with Nia.
My thought is also as an entertainment girly, because that is my first love. I kind of just fell into sports. Honestly, I really did. I was doing some football, high school football recording, and then eventually I was recording for a sports company, and then before you know it, I was recording in college, and now I'm here. Like this, you really don't know where your path is going to take you, but as an entertainment girly at first, I don't think Rihanna has to do much. I mean, it's Rihanna. The same way, people expect when Beyonce goes out there that Beyonce really puts it on. You know what I'm saying? So that's an expectation. Rihanna, we know she can hit a quick choreography, but also at the same time, we know if she needs to let the workers work and she, be up there really getting into the music. Yeah, y'all saw her hit that note. She finally hit that note and work. So like she's been out the game for a couple years. She came out for a pop surprise special appearance, and we know she's going to be gone for another couple of years. That's all I have to say.
Hopefully we get that album this year. She said maybe this year, I think. I saw on Complex somewhere, so we'll see. What about you, Taylor? What were your thoughts?
I loved it. And like Nia, now that I'm really thinking about it, I really was an entertainment girly. Like, the sports came, but I was one of the girls. Okay, so this is a tangent, but this is going to set us up because I was definitely one of the girls that had to know everything. Like when we were like 13, 14, and it was like that mindless behavior era. I needed to know where the OMG girls were at, if they was talking to the
I had the J14s. That's the only thing I was getting sent to my house. I knew about my type of drama, and I knew about that type of drama. I knew both sides. Trust me, I was a Justin Bieber girly, so I knew every Justin Bieber fact. Like I was there writing the birth certificate. That's how I was. So I already know what you're talking about. Anyway,
I would believe for a minute, and then when One Direction came out, I got tired, and I was like, all right, let me just go ahead. But no, so anyways, anyways, about the halftime show, I thought it was amazing. I was around after it was over because I was singing every song. I was up on my feet, like just fangirling. And after it was over, even though just now that I'm thinking about it, it was a little bit too much. But I was walking around the house and I was like, this was the best performance since Michael Jackson. Like, everybody is looking at me like, girl, you're crazy. And I was like, okay, wait. I was like, wait, okay, I am doing too much. I think I was just so happy to see her performing. But I will say, I think in the last few years, okay, because they put her, I wanted to look because in my delusion, I was like, let's see who performed since Michael Jackson. So they put her into she now categorizes into the 2020s technically, but I look between the 2000s and 2020s. And so in the 2020s category, it was The Weeknd, and then the performance from last year. Who was 2021? Oh, Shakira and J-Lo. No, 2020
yeah.
they were 2020, I think, right?
2021. I think that
2021
was
The Weeknd, and then
last year
Dr. Dre and all them.
Mm-hmm.
I said out of those four, she is definitely top two.
Okay, wow. Okay.
But I will say I think her set list was really good. The transitions into each song was really good.
Yes.
The dancers were dancing. I said when they came out like this, y'all can't see.
And they did the TikTok.
Yeah. I said, oh, okay. Like
no, those were good. The camera movements,
the
stage.
Yep. I think it was a really good performance. I think people did expect to see, because it's the halftime show, but the girl was pregnant, you know? Now, here's the thing. When she pulled out that Fenty, is it the Invisimatte powder? I said, girl, you're her. You're
businesswoman first. Entrepreneur first.
Yes, no, I said funny. Nobody will. And who do you think is going to do that the next time? She could be the only one. I would say she did really good, and leading around her show. I think maybe that's why people were disappointed, because there was so much, like, for those that was hating. Okay. Right. But the lead up to it, because she had the promos going out. When they first announced it, she had her hand holding, the football. And then she had all the Fenty stuff come out. And then also this line, like the limited edition line with the NFL and the hoodies and stuff. And I think there was just so much build up to it. And then people saw it. And then she's pregnant. She's not really moving around or dancing too much, or like, But nonetheless, I think it was a great performance.
Yeah, and I saw on Twitter that people were saying like, oh, like not many people could perform for 13 minutes and not have any guests. Like it was just her and her hits.
And the crazy part is the set list was a little bit mid.
I was hoping for. Oh, you think it was mid? I wanted to hear Pon de Replay, and there was another song I wanted to hear. I think Don't Stop the Music.
See,
I thought she performed that. I thought, you know what happened though? She only played for certain songs. She only played the beats to them. She didn't sing them, and I think that might have been where she lost some folks, because I definitely thought I heard the Don't Stop the Music. Now Pon de Replay, I don't know, can't remember.
Yeah, and then because I saw Jay-Z and Blue Ivy in the audience, I was like, oh, he's not going to perform, because why is he sitting down?
I was like, I hope he doesn't get up there.
Oh, you didn't want to see him?
He doesn't need guests.
And then some people were like, oh, where's Kanye? But I was like, I don't want to see Kanye.
I don't want to see him.
Yeah, did you
No.
Cervantes, did you think she was gonna have guests? Like, what did you think about her performance?
I thought it was good. I was hoping to see Jay-Z for the Umbrella and Run This Town. I was hoping to see Jay-Z. Like quick, 2 second, do his little rap verse and then back out.
It was the fact that TikTok created this rumor that Chris Brown was going to pop out. I said, "Are y'all crazy? Can we get over this? Like, it's 2023."
No. Who would you guys like to see perform the Super Bowl that hasn't already? Or maybe perform again?
On set, like by themselves, Nicki Minaj.
Okay.
But she's not going to make the cut.
No, I would love to see Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, and Drake. I feel like that would
Now
be.
that would be them together. They might let it slide.
But you feel like they wouldn't give it to just Nicki?
No. First of all, the songs aren't going to make it. The songs aren't going to make it past the FCC. And then second, Nicki's another topic. We're not going to get on her.
What about you, Nia? Who would you like to see perform who hasn't, or who would you like to see perform again?
No, that's honestly, it's so hard because like my music choice has changed like significantly to like before I thought I listened to everything and now I really feel like I listen to everything. Like obviously everybody knows last year was a big like Afro beats like summer. So the honestly that's like about 95% of what I consume at this point.
I love Afro beats. Yeah,
and
so
like
like
that
Burna
genre,
Boy or Tim.
yes, like that genre. Like I saw Wizkid last November. I'm gonna see him again in March. Like I just can't stay away for some reason. But yeah, it's kind of if okay, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you one of the ones that because of Rihanna's whole Super Bowl halftime show, I went back and watched and I was like, I actually really like enjoyed that halftime show. And that actually, believe it or not, I think it was Katy Perry. Like just random. If you rewatched her halftime show, you realize like that woman had like 6 outfit changes and she was like changing like the way her outfits and everything were like they were changing like right before your eyes. She had all my middle school bops, you know what I'm saying? Like, Katy Perry low key like has bops. And she can low put on a whole show of just like straight Katy Perry, like nobody else. And so I know that was kind of just random.
No,
but
hers was good.
No, that
I remember
makes
she brought up
sense.
Missy Elliott.
But yes, that's what I'm saying. So something like that. Or like she was saying that whole like the old YMCMB type thing, that would be like dope.
Now switching gears to the commercials, in an ad for Popcorners, Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul reprised their iconic Breaking Bad roles. Another ad featured Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, where Affleck is working the drive-thru and serving real customers at Dunkin' Donuts in Massachusetts. Affleck asks one man if he looks familiar, but the customer doesn't recognize him. Another woman asks for a selfie. What were you guys' thoughts on the commercials? I'll start with Taylor.
I'm sorry, I just answered, but very mid. Super Bowl commercials used to almost be as good as the game, especially when we had the point in time where Tom Brady was just there every year. I started watching for the commercials, and my like TV mind was on because they're on it ran on Fox, and that's a competitor station for me. So I'm like, who was advertising locally? So I kind of was just looking to see who in the DC area was advertising, but on a national level, I was like, I was tuned in. Like I felt like they were mid.
Yeah, it was like a bunch of celebrities. I was like, okay, I know who that is, but it didn't really make me laugh.
Right.
What about you, Nia?
They were just, I wish I could even say men. They were terrible. Like before, again, never really being a big sports person, I would physically just turn on the Super Bowl specifically to see what team was going against each other, have an excuse to order pizza, watch the commercials, and halftime show. And like this year, I couldn't even focus on even keeping my TV off of like mute. You know what I'm saying? Like the moment like it was gone, I was back on mute because the commercials, it doesn't even seem like companies are even paying for the full like used to have like full 2-minute commercials. I think I saw one good, like 2, almost 3-minute commercial. Other than that, each commercial is like just 30 seconds, 20 seconds. It's like just watching regular TV. So like the commercials this year were just not good. None of them, honestly, to me were memorable at all that I'd go back and talk about,
I
honestly.
didn't even remember them. I
Right.
had to look up the ones that I just read. I had to look them up.
But
But I
like
remember the
Nia
Betty
said, the
White
money
one. That was
changed.
good. You guys remember
The
that
money
one?
changed a lot. That's what girl, I wrote a whole thesis on Super Bowl commercials. No, seriously, because there's a whole science, and like companies really prepare themselves for this time. And I really was interested because I'm sitting here looking at these commercials like, dang, that's really a 3-minute commercial. I wonder how much that cost. Millions and millions and millions of dollars, millions and millions for a 30-second slot. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like, I pay attention. And you literally could write a whole, like I wrote a literal 10-page paper on like Super Bowl commercials. I did a news package to it in college and everything, because there's just so much like behind the scenes, like
Yeah.
contracts and stuff when it comes to like Super Bowl commercials and money. And this year I was like, oh, where is y'all money at? Like, open your pockets a little bit. Like, what's going on?
And I think that's also too because because of now, and see, that's why it's good that I'm like on this AE side, because I can see how TV advertising works. And we're gonna have the Super Bowl next year, so that's gonna be so interesting on CBS. But I think in the minds of companies and advertisers, they might believe that the influence has changed, regardless of if it's streaming. Because then that was another thing, that streaming the Super Bowl was really big too. I don't want to get too techy, but regardless of streaming, and there's mobile streaming too, but or whether you're watching on your television from a cable box or a set box, you're gonna have to broadcast on TV. There are so many different ways you can advertise. You still have to advertise on television. Period. And I think the companies need to put more work. If we're saying it was mid or bad, put more work into your messaging, because you're in front of the biggest game for the NFL season, millions of people. This is what you're putting out. And see, even though they're not, people like regular people who are watching, probably like, I just want to laugh, I just want to remember the commercial. Who's gonna buy your product? And I know this is getting really like TV minded, right? But who's gonna buy it if they can't remember the commercial or who was in the commercial? Was Liz? I think I might remember Lizzo in the commercial, and the Dunkin' one, maybe. I feel like that got real deep though.
No, that's a good.
But I'm
That's
just
a
saying.
good point.
The only one I remember is the Cardi B commercial.
Oh yeah,
Oh
McDonald's.
yeah, that was
But that's
McDonald's, right?
literally, and I think I think the only other commercial that stuck out to me that I was like, wait, I think there's like a new Samsung or something coming out. And that was the only like really like 2-minute, 3-minute commercial, because it was literally talking about every aspect of the phone and how like the pictures are like so clear. You could like erase people out of your pictures. That was like the whole purpose of the thing. Oh, and the only other commercial, which again points us back to the streaming, is everybody saw the Tubi commercial. I don't even have Tubi, and I was like, what's going on?
I was
I
like, who changed
promise,
the channel?
I'm watching it on my laptop, and I'm still like, oh, maybe I bumped it. That's the only, and I think, and again, that is okay. I'm a company. I only have 30 seconds, because the commercial wasn't only but like 30 seconds. I only have 30 seconds, and this is how much money I have. How am I going to make this memorable for people?
Yep,
And
and that was the one.
That was the one that everybody is still talking about. Like, oh, somebody should really sue Tubi. But I'm sure their thing skyrocketed though. Their sales.
For
Yeah.
sure. No, yeah, their marketing, everyone's marketing team, this past Super Bowl needs to figure out,
Take some notes.
make some noise, think about their demographic. Like, hey, like, I think sometimes companies nowadays they try to cater to like our parents, but then also like TikTok, and maybe like pick one. Maybe don't like it's hard to cater to both. To cater to 40-year-olds and then also cater to 15-year-olds. So figure out who your demographic is try to make it funny and put that product placement in, and I'm sure it's easier said than done, but something's got to figure it out. The marketing team, advertising team, they definitely got to figure out for next year because you're gonna lose all that money you paid. You're gonna lose out. So the Philadelphia Eagles actually ran out onto the field to Lil Uzi Vert's smash hit "Just Wanna Rock." Do you guys think "Just Wanna Rock" will replace "Dreams and Nightmares" by Meek Mill as the new Philly anthem?
She got to go first because
That's crazy. And I'm not even from Philly.
People were talking about that like, oh, that's the new song. We're gonna replace it.
I don't think so. I think, again, like everything, just like you were talking, there needs to be one for regular people and one for the teenagers and the TikTokers and everything. You see that people are paying $50+ for a short sleeve black shirt that all it says on the front of it is it's a Philly thing. That's all it and just regular, just like the most regular text. Nothing's going on, and that is selling out. And that is only because, again, just like how y'all was talking about with the commercials, they need something that's going to cater to both age groups. They still have like Philadelphia is diehard fans. There's no way they're changing it from Meek Mill Dreams and Nightmares. But that song is what is getting like it has a good tempo, it has a good beat. A lot of the kids like to do the dance to it, the players like to do the dance to it. So it's what's popular now. But when that song disappears in the next 2 years, guess who's still gonna be here? Meek. Just like he was like in 2000 and whatever. It's 2023. He's still here, and it's gonna stay Dreams and Nightmares, and that's on period.
Yes. Same for you, Taylor.
Yep. And I think I low-key had a thought, but I low-key forgot. But I think dang, never mind, don't think.
No worries. No, but that's a good point. Like, I wonder, Dreams and Nightmares, it's been years. I don't know when he came out with that song, but we all hear that beat drop and we all go crazy. Will we still be talking about Just Wanna Rock next year? I don't know. It's a good song, but I don't know. I don't know. That's a good point. And my last question for you guys, any upcoming projects you guys are working on that you want to share or promote? I'll
You
start
can go
with Mia.
first.
Oh, you'll start with me? Oh my gosh. Unfortunately, the one project that I am working on, I can't talk about it at all.
Okay.
But you can stay tuned though on ESPN. I don't know what day it even premieres because honestly, again, when you work in production, you kind of just like somebody can come and knock on your door that same day and be like, hey, I'm gonna put you on this project and it needs to be done by 5 o'clock today, which is literally what happened when I got the email after I left work yesterday. So today I was like,
Okay, it's like scrambling. Yeah.
yes, but like it still got edited and it still got done because we work under pressure. But you could watch on ESPN, they usually have like I don't know if they call it best sounds, but that's what we call it. And we'll just splice up a couple of the best sounds from the game to kind of just like really show everybody that game excitement. People love to hear the players and the coaches and everything mic'd up and their pregame speeches when they're sitting up there, trying to get everybody hyped. And so it leaves a better memory than the Eagles just terribly losing. It really shows you guys that we had hope all the way into the end and we were always, a supportive team and everything. So you can stay tuned for that. Go on NFL Films on YouTube. We post a lot of different things on YouTube. And if you want to support me, go watch HBO Hard Knocks against the Cardinals again. Didn't do well this season, but if you wait, my name is in the credits, and that was the first time my name's ever been professionally published like that. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. So proud. And you, Taylor, any projects coming up that you want to promote or talk about?
Yeah, so just right now, nothing too specific. It's just kind of laying the groundwork for other women to experience Miss NFL. So that my big goal is to not just be Miss NFL, but other women can call themselves that, or at least like a part of that, whether they want to be that or not. But it's for other women to participate in. So just laying the groundwork for that. I don't really know what that looks like right now, whether that would be possibly a podcast or me interviewing people, going from like, because I do the episodes and going from maybe game analysis to interviewing women in sports. I don't, or within the NFL. So just laying the groundwork for that. So stay tuned. I do plan to go to more season games though, like in person and film there, because I went to 2 this season. That's a big jump for me coming from the pandemic and then last year. So then I was like so happy to be back in the stadium. But yeah, that's really
That's
much it.
awesome. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining me on the podcast. I really appreciate it. Great way to kickstart Black History Month. Where can everyone follow you guys? I'll start with Taylor.
Yeah, so my everything is at the Taylor Lindsay. So yeah.
Awesome. Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. Awesome. And what about you, Nia?
Um, Instagram, preferably. I'm gonna activate it back. I'm on a social media cleanser right now. But when I do come back, it is gonna be at Nia, and it's gonna be the THA Queen. So it's Nia the Queen, but it's not just like I'm just the queen. I'm the queen, like that queen. Period. So that is what my handle is on there. And then on LinkedIn, I just think it's Nia Pope. But also, sidebar, self-promotion, you can go and just follow up with what I'm doing on my website. I have a website, nproductions.online, and you can follow up. Reach out to me on there. You have any questions, mentoring, whatever. I'm available.
Awesome. Awesome. So please support these awesome Black women in sports. This is such a good conversation. And I want to hear from you guys. So if you're listening to this episode right now on a podcast platform, be sure to leave a rating on Anchor, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. If you're watching this episode on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you click the notification bell up top to be notified whenever I upload a new episode. Awesome. Thank you guys for listening. Happy Black History Month. Have a good one.
Thank you.